Hey, yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Justice League, issue number 1. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Do you guys feel that? Yes, that is the start of the new DCU. Yes, with issue number 1 of Justice League, by the way, beautiful cover, we get the start of the new DC universe. And right now I am feeling excited, hopeful, and a little bit of nervousness all wrapped into one. Because it's kind of funny when you think back to it. When this relaunch was first announced, I was scared shitless. But over the recent months, as I've become educated and more information has come out about this DCU, I'm no longer scared. I mean, I'm still nervous about a few things here and there. Don't get me wrong. There are some changes that I'm not quite on board with. But for the most part, I'm absolutely excited about this new DC relaunch. I think it's a great idea that eventually was going to have to happen. Changes were eventually going to have to happen in the DCU. So I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I'm one of the few people in my group of friends that is, but I'm actually really hopeful and excited for this. And with issue number 1 of Justice League, we get that new DCU. But let's stop talking about the preparations and my feelings for the DCU that is going on right now. Let's actually talk about issue number 1 of Justice League. Now, before we actually get into the review of the issue, one thing that you should know is there's a few titles that aren't set in present day for the DC Universe. All-Star Westerns and Demon Knights are going to be set in a different era. Action Comics number 1 is going to be set at the start of Superman's career, and Justice League's first story arc is going to be set in the beginning of the Justice League, telling the origins of the Justice League. After the first story arc, however, we're going to fast forward to the present day time. So this is set about 5 years ago in the current DCU. And it starts off with Batman running on Gotham's rooftops, chasing this individual who really doesn't look too well. They don't really look human. And while this is happening, Batman is being chased by Gotham PD. Because, mind you, this is a time when Batman was still considered an urban legend, a menace to society, and more of a myth than actually a hero. So, Batman is chasing this monstrous individual who really doesn't look all too well, and out of nowhere, Green Lantern pops up. Oh yes, Hal Jordan comes in like a huge flashlight and basically ruins Batman's day. Or at least that's how Batman feels. The monstrous creature is able to transform itself and escape. It transforms itself into kind of like a bug praying mantis looking hybridness. I don't even know how to describe it. And is able to escape both Hal Jordan and Bruce Wayne. So, Green Lantern and Batman agreed to work with each other in taking down this villainous creature thingamajiggy, whatever it is. They're able to track this creature into an underground area in Gotham where the creature self-destructs and screams out the name Darkseid. Oh! So I guess we all know what the creature is. Yes, the creature that Batman and Hal Jordan are pursuing are a parademon. Yes, the parademon on our Earth. So we already know who the main villain in the Justice League first story arc, the origin of the Justice League, is going to be. Darkseid. Batman and Green Lantern agree that they're probably gonna need help on this, so they decide to go search for other superheroes to help them out. The first superhero being, well, I'm gonna leave that being a mystery. I don't want to give away too much, do I? No, this is gonna happen to be a spoiler-free review, for the most part. For the most part. Other than the fact that I'm telling you that it's a parademon and that Darkseid is involved. So with that said, let's get into the good, the bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, Jim Lee's art, as always, is fantastic. And it just was, it was beautiful. I couldn't help but just be in awe the whole entire time. I met Jim Lee, and I have to say I was happy that I did because he's one of my favorite artists. Actually, he's probably tied for first place along with George Perez. Although, it's kind of funny when you think about it. I like George Perez's earlier stuff more than his later stuff, and I like Jim Lee's later stuff more than his earlier stuff. But that's just me. The art is absolutely beautiful in this. Hal and Bruce look great. And the other Justice League members that do make an appearance, because two other Justice League members do make an appearance here and there, they look good too. I really like the redesign on the Parademons. It makes them look more menacing and diabolical, and actually make them more of a threat, because Parademons, for the most part, are kind of just idiots. They're the Koopa Troopers of Darkseid. You know, the miscellaneous throwaway, I can throw in a kamikaze suicide attack kind of soldiers. I mean, but this Parademon looks badass, and he's actually able to put Hal Jordan and Bruce Wayne on edge. I mean, they're having trouble defeating this monster. The portrayal of the characters, for the most part, are pretty nice. I like the bickering that goes on between Hal Jordan and Bruce Wayne. One particular part is when they're walking with each other and Hal goes, "So what kind of superpower do you have? Can you fly?" Batman says, "No." "Do you have super strength?" Batman says, "No." And then Hal says, "So you're just a guy in a bat suit?" And then Batman goes, "Yes, and I've got your ring." And Hal's like, "Hey, how did you get that?" It's a funny moment. But for the most part, the character interactions are nice in this. I really like how Batman and Hal Jordan kind of interact with each other. It's a unique dichotomy of the two. Because Hal's really not afraid of Bruce. He's one of the few superheroes that isn't. And they really are opposites to each other. And I like the interaction between the two. The story was, for the most part, well-paced. There's a lot to read here. And what I like is they don't throw all the Justice League at you at once. It's not like Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Hal Jordan, Barry Allen, Cyborg, and Aquaman all show up at once. It's actually a story arc of building the team. So, well-paced story and well-written. Bad. I can't really think of any. The story was good, the art was good, and I am excited for issue number 2. I'm not saying this just because this issue number 1 is Justice League, and that, oh, he's probably going to say it's fantastic just because it's issue number 1. No, this is really a good issue. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and with the exception of one part that I really didn't care for, it is, for the most part, a really good issue. And I really enjoyed it. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. Pick up this issue. It's not going to give you the full story right away, because it is going to be probably a 5 to 6 issue story arc of telling the origins of the Justice League. But it's a great way to get into the new DCU. You'll find out that the characters are relatively the same that they were beforehand, other than a few tweaks here and there. I mean, Batman in this is Batman. Hal Jordan in this is Hal Jordan. The other Justice League members that show up, because there's two other that make cameos, are those Justice League members. Even one of which kind of giving a little bit different backstory to them and kind of, fleshing out the character in a different way, but in a good way. So I like how they're doing things with the characters here. They feel like the characters that we've known and loved. It's not like Batman's going to be walking around, picking his nose, going and throwing fireballs at people and acting like a complete idiot. No, this is Bruce Wayne, this is Hal Jordan, these are the other two Justice League members. Again, don't want to spoil it too much. It is those characters. So if you're apprehensive and if you're worried about them changing these characters on us, no. Details are going to be changed about this new DC universe, but the characters are, for the most part, relatively going to stay the same. And issue number 1 of Justice League just shows us on how good this new DC universe has the potential to be. Is everything that's going to happen out of this relaunch going to be fantastic? No. I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm not going to be foolish enough to think that everything's going to be golden in this. There is obviously going to be some stuff that isn't going to rub well with some readers. However, issue number 1 of Justice League shows us the potential that this new DC universe has. So I highly recommend picking this up. It was fun and enjoyable, and like I said, I'm excited for issue number 2. There really wasn't anything bad about this. There was one small scene that I didn't care about, but it's not even worth mentioning because it's just a silly scene. But yes, issue number 1 of Justice League. Highly recommend picking it up. I enjoyed this, and I think you will enjoy this too. And at the very least, give it a shot. If you don't believe me on how good this is, if you think I'm just saying this because it's issue number 1, and I'm not, I'm being absolutely critical of this. I sat down and reread this 3 times, making sure my thoughts were what I truly believe. Pick it up anyways, just to give it a shot. Okay? So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. This is Andrew saying, peace out for now.